Hey everyone, another day, another handheld, with this one being MagicX's 040. We of course see countless retro handhelds every year. Most follow the very same formula though. So what happens when a company decides to try something a bit different and design a device specifically tailored for emulating Nintendo DS and classic vertical arcade games? Well, that's essentially what we've got here with the MagicX 040, and it might just be one of the most interesting handhelds I've certainly reviewed this year. For around the $90 mark, it offers a pretty unique vertical screen experience, which, as mentioned, is tailored for a specific and often forgotten part of the retro gaming community in emulating DS and vertical gaming. The MagicX 040 certainly isn't a flawless device, and I'll try and explore its shortcomings later in this review. However, just the ambition from MagicX deserves attention, I think, as they've attempted to create a distinct project for a niche within an already niche hobby, and that's just fantastic to see. So ultimately with this review, I'm essentially looking to answer the question, is the 040 a must-buy for fans of DS and vertical gaming? So let's start by taking a closer look at its specs. The 040 is powered by the all-winner Cortex A53 A133 Plus CPU, which, although isn't powerful, is just about powerful enough to cover the majority of the DS library, though it definitely will struggle with some of the harder to run Nintendo 64, Dreamcast and PSP games, for example. It would have been nice to see a little bit more raw power here, so we could make the most of some of the more technically demanding aspects of emulation, like rewinding or upscaling or the like, but it's not exactly a horrendous chip overall. Otherwise, we've got 2 gigs of RAM, and that's always nice to see, a 4-inch multi-touch IPS OCA laminated screen with a resolution of 480 by 800. Also supports a vibration motor, has both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, stereo speakers, and even a Hall effect joystick. It's got a pretty nice battery size of 4,300 mAh, with a respectable weight of 183 grams, and comes with Android but boots straight into a heavily Daijisho inspired front-end launcher, thankfully named the much easier to pronounce Dawn launcher. Straight out of the box, I really like the Magic 040. It's got a unique look and immediately feels comfortable in the hand. Ergonomic wise, some people prefer flat over curved backs, but the 040's shape almost feels like a compromise somewhat between the two, due to the increased height giving something larger than normal hands like my own something to always comfortably grip onto. On top, we've got the inline shoulder buttons, 2 USB-C ports and a headphone jack, while on the right side we've got the power button, 2 microSD ports, and on the left just the volume buttons. The plastic used doesn't give off the most premium of looks overall, but it does feel comfortable in the hands at least. And the speakers are unfortunately placed a bit too close to where your thumbs naturally lay in a gripped position. The best takeaway from my first impressions of the 040 though was just how quiet it is. There's minimal noise when shaken or even pressing any of the buttons, so it's a great quiet handheld from that respect, which I always love to see. In terms of controls, the MagicX 040 isn't bad at all. As previously mentioned, the full controls are just quiet. It's genuinely difficult to get noise out of the controls, but there's still a nice physical feedback to each press. The D-pad in particular does feel a tad on the smaller side, as do the buttons, but a little less so. I'm not sure if this is just generally overly emphasised due to the surrounding blank space due to its vertical layout, but it does feel a tad on the smaller side. Other than that though, the inline shoulder buttons do have a nice slight slant to them, which make for a great physical distinction, and the Hall effect joystick isn't too bad, especially used in contexts for vertical arcade gameplay. Overall though, it's actually a pretty decent control layout, but the D-pad is a little on the stiff side, which, although I personally didn't find much of an issue during general DS gameplay, I did during arcade gameplay or anything that required very specific, precise multi-directional input specifically. It also suffers a little by not including a stylus as part of its control scheme, but that's only really noticed when playing stylus-led DS games, of course, or coming from an original DS itself. Something that I really like about the MagicX 040 is MagicX's own door launcher, which it boots straight into and has been tailored for the 040. It's a fairly stress-free experience all in all, and although there's no Google Play Store available out of the box, and installing any additional Android apps have to be siloed in, it's a fairly complete out-of-the-box experience nonetheless. The door launcher even has some features like FTP services built in, which make adding new games a lot easier, and things like scraping box art and some auto-save and load settings are very easily set too. Overall, I was generally really pleasantly surprised by just how good Door Launcher is, and it's definitely one of the highlights of the 040 overall. So with all that said, I'll move on to some gameplay footage now before summarising up at the end. So I kicked off this review by asking if the 040 is a must-buy for the fans of DS and vertical gaming, and ultimately, although my answer is that I don't think it's a must-buy, I do think it's surprisingly close, especially if you can pick it up while it's on sale. It's not got the best finish to its plastic, it's not got the best D-pad in the world, nor is it a powerhouse. But the 040 does stand out for a lot of great reasons on its own. It does something different, does that pretty well overall, and does it all for a great price too. That's it for now though. Thanks so much for watching.